Derek Jones, unfortunately, a lot of the internet wrestling community does not understand their internet very well because I think the thing that is killing us as wrestling fans isn't our honest opinions that we sometimes spar, debate, and discuss amongst our friends. I think we can both agree, and actually, I know because this started as a subject in our chat. Derek Jones, the internet isn't real, right?
Only about 5% of it.
Right.
Only about 5%.
So what we're talking about is rage bait bullshit, and Facebook is the worst defender. Now I'm not on Twitter; it may be worse on there. But when you see a headline that makes you want to hit on it, it seems like right now, about 80% of the time, maybe more, it's absolute bullshit and the headline is misleading. Derek Jones, when was the last time you got caught with this?
Like actually caught.
Yep.
It's probably been a minute because most things that are posted like this are all posted from the same sources. We as people, man, clickbait is dangerous.
Mm.
It's so dangerous if you're not careful. And the things that we rely on the most to tell us about professional wrestling is obviously the dirt sheets, and they are the biggest component of this trash ever. It's very easy to go down one of these rabbit holes if you're not careful.
Are you saying it's fake news?
Uh, huge fake news. Huge.
Disinformation, misinformation, fake news. Look, the next time you see something from, oh, I don't know, Ringside News, there's a good chance that the article that is going to precede the headline has dick all to do with the headline that you read. And Derek, that's the problem, right?
That's
We
it.
are more moved by things that anger us than what we actually love.
Absolutely. It anger triggers an emotion quicker than joy or happiness or whatever. Man, that anger switch that will get you real quick. And there's very specific groups or generations that are triggered by this a lot more so than others. Just let's be real about it. And you're right, Facebook is it's the cancer spreading site more so than Twitter or X, sorry. um, there's a lot more opportunity for chat and interaction on Facebook, I think, just because of the nature of what it is. But it's, man, it's kind of wild sometimes.
If you understand what Facebook actually is and social media broadly is it's an ad bulletin. It's a bulletin board on the side of the interstate, and the more people who click on that link, the more they can charge their advertisers. So they can say, "Hey, we just got 15 million pieces of engagement," or however they put it, and they can get the ad people who run their Blue Chew commercials and such to give them more money. So the problem is the incentive is baked into the cake to do anything that you can, even be unscrupulous with your headlines to get people to click on it.
Yeah, and sometimes they're not, but even when they're not, unscrupulous or false, they're extremely exaggerated. Like
Mm.
there's about this much of the truth in the title, but man, they turn it up. So headlines for clickbait is the way they always describe someone who wants to be a good pro wrestler. Take your personality and crank it up to 11. Okay, so that's what they do with clickbait. They find that one little key of what's happening, and man, they crank it up just to get people to figure out what's going on.
It's all a work, Derek. It's all a work, and we're all working. We're working right now. We're hoping that we give you a product that you will come back and give us your attention. And have you ever noticed that the best of us who are smart will still get caught in one of those headlines?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. There's a few that we're possibly going to talk about. You said, when was the last time I really got caught? I almost got caught on one of the ones we're going to bring up just because of how realistic it could have been until you found out who the source was.
Well, let's go to the telestrator and bring this up for the good people. If you see here, You have the plumber John Moxley, who has just attempted murder on Daniel Bryan, and from Sportskeeda, who is a repeat offender in this field,
Yes.
says AEW called out after Moxley suffocates Danielson at All Out. Now, we know wrestling. He didn't actually suffocate him. So even in the headline, they're in kayfabe? Question mark, Derek?
Very embellished. I'm not even going to say they're in kayfabe. Very embellished. However, this is the one that drew me in because I wanted to know who called them out.
Tell me who called him out.
This is the one I'm like, man, did the network get them? Did Warner Brothers get them? Did like who's mad over this spot that was well done, in my opinion? And then once you get into it, it's none other than the most infamous. I'm not even going to call him a worker. He's a smart. No, I'm not even going to call him a smart mark because, man, I don't even know that he knows that it's a work, but it's Glenn Gilberti, Disco Inferno. Once you get in there, he makes a comment on Twitter and he still thinks that people value his opinion on professional wrestling. And the only people that do is Sportskeeda because they were able to make a headline that draws in even the best of us.
It is the only thing that unites the whole of the IWC is that we, and I believe that Conan believes with us as well, is that he is a complete, total jackass and is a very bad speaker. And as the worst speaker on this whole podcast, that's saying a lot for me calling him out. He does a lot of stuttering and shit. I do too, but not nearly that bad. Who did you think it was going to be? Who did you want it to be?
Because it was almost to an extreme on the pay-per-view, I just hoped it wasn't Warner Brother Discovery because there's been so much back and forth on whether or not they're going to cancel AEW or remove them from their broadcasting or your programming, whatever. Everything in me is like, man, this is the one that's going to do it. This is the one that's going to get them. I enjoyed watching this spot. I'm like, man, that's cool. You know, they did this really well. It made sense for what was going on, and somebody's going to ruin it because it hurt somebody's feelings. But it just hurt Disco's feelings.
When you told me who it was, I was in the process of typing out, was it fucking Disco Inferno? Yeah. Now let's fantasy book this. What if it was Bret Hart? Would that give this headline more weight?
Giving like being the person that gave the comment?
Yes.
I think yes. I think it would be because Bret, in my opinion, and this is obviously just my opinion, I think Bret is the truest keeper of kayfabe that there's ever been. I don't know that anybody else cares more internally about professional wrestling than Bret Hart does. So if he would have been the guy to have called them out, I think it would have carried so much more weight.
Fair enough. So we can agree that Disco Inferno should never make a headline with his 2 cents.
No.
So that's pretty egregious. Here's another one that I wasn't sure about. I keep up with the dirts as much as I possibly could. Here we got a friend of a friend, CM Punk. And this is ringside news. Once again, a perpetual offender in this area. Do you think WWE should have reached out to the creator of the CM Punk bracelet before selling blah, 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 blah? And the headline was WWE removes fans bracelet after she, and if you see destroys, crushes, blasts in the headline, you know that it is rage bait bullshit. Blast them for selling it without credit. What the fuck did this even mean?
So the whole storyline between CM Punk and Drew has been over a friendship bracelet that Punk has been wearing around. It had AJ and Larry on it that a fan made him, and WWE was going to start selling it because it technically belongs to Punk at that point because she made it for him. There is no trademark law involved. She made it as a gift for him. It became the centerpiece of a storyline. And here's the thing, to my understanding and what I read in that article is WWE did reach out to this young lady, and her blasting them was a comment, and all it said was, "I made the bracelet for Punk, not for the world."
Man, that's a blast.
Put them on.
God, damn, that was like Conor McGregor. Damn. And that's
I don't know how they're going to recover.
it's rough. CM Punk may retire after this one. And that's our point. And we're just here as a little PSA to the wrestling world that this is not healthy. It's well known if you're a longtime listener, and we're going on 4 or 5 years right now as a podcast, about 3 on YouTube, maybe a little longer. You will know that I am a disappointed AEW former fan, and I too have fallen into the act of debating with people what they fucking like. And I learned, and it's good to learn because I'm old and I'm still learning to not do that. Now, if I'm with a like-minded person, we're going to bury the shit out of some of that stuff. But I don't give you shit anymore, Derek. You know what I'm saying? Like Derek loves that shit. I love Derek. It's good enough for me.
Wrestling's not one size fit all, Barker.
I know. And dude, as soon as I started working a lot and was like, man, I have just an amount of time. I'm only going to watch what I like, and I'm not going to watch what I don't like just so I can bitch about it later. And that's what these headlines are for, is so you can go into the comment section. Now we're going to really open it up because I want to pull up one of the next ones, and we are looking at right here the guy who is very easy to make look silly because he gives the internet plenty of chances to make him look silly. Ringside News. This actually isn't rage bait. This is actually a real thing, and we may be able to calm down some of your aunts and uncles on Facebook if you show this to them. It says, what's your opinion on Tony Khan finally having proof of the existence of anti-AEW bots? Tony Khan's position solidified with proof of anti-AEW bots. Now, I will jump on making fun of Tony Khan quicker than just about any Gen Xer out there. But when he said this originally, and all of the podcasters jumped on it, I said, no, that's absolutely true. Now, Derek, for the boomers out there who still have to have their grandkids come over and get their Facebook to work on their laptop, explain to the good people what a bot is.
Bots are shortened, hyphenated, robot, whatever you want to call it. It is a system generated commenting service in its simplest form. There are computer programs out there, and you give it keywords, you give it positive, negative feedback, descriptive capabilities, and you send it out in the world, and it will have conversations on your behalf or on someone else's behalf. And in this case, I would like, when you asked earlier, how much of what's going on is real, and I said very little, like 5%. Well, in reality, if you get into some of these chat rooms or some of these Facebook groups and it says there's 20,000 people in the group, I would say maybe 5,000 of them are real people. The other 15 are system generated bots that are going to continue conversation that will draw you in to click on these things like you talked about to help build revenue, help persuade people to one way or another to, draw ratings in or draw ratings away.
It's robots building robots, which I'm pretty sure is a sci-fi horror movie somewhere. the here as a YouTuber, as a semi-successful YouTuber on another channel, I can tell you that comments move engagement. Engagement moves the AI. And the more comments you have on a video or a post, Facebook will see it and say, oh, there's a lot of, comment engagement. There's comments. There's lots of likes and laughy faces and hearts. And then they will push it into the algorithm and send it out to us. Now, look, man, if you're a wrestling fan and you're on the internet and you're searching for wrestling, you know that it's over half your feed. Probably if you're watching this, your feed is half or more of wrestling stuff. So those bots are there to push. They're there in an artificial way to push what a lot of times is artificial news, which goes back to what Derek said at the beginning of this. None of this is real. And of course, as our thumbnail says, it's ruining wrestling because people start arguing with people who they think are real, who they think are AEW e-drones and AEW neckbeards. And then they start hating this abstract idea about this person. And there's a good chance it was a fucking robot.
Yeah, absolutely. And the scary thing is there's people out there that will take everything that they read seriously. So they're gonna look at some of these comments and they will stew on it. And it's creating a very negative atmosphere on social media. And people talk about social media being toxic. Well, it's only toxic primarily because of these bots. And man, that's what they're there for. They're there to trigger that emotion. I said it earlier. Hate is that quick trigger emotion that you'll respond to quicker than you will anything else. So when that emotion is triggered, boom, I'm going to give you another comment and another comment, and another comment, and then your video is going to go through the roof. And you don't care what's actually being said if you're the owner of the post or whatever, because all you know is your ad revenue is going up.
That's all it is. We are free marketeers around here, but this is not a laissez-faire free market. This is in a micro way, a market that is being fooled with through AI, GP chat, or because that a lot of those bots are just running through GP chat, right?
Oh,
Or some version of that. And so we are not enjoying wrestling as much as we should because we think that we're fighting with someone on the other side. I watch AEW on YouTube, the stuff that I want to watch. I don't watch the regular show. I haven't for many years. I've been to 3 shows live. If they come back, I'll probably go. I just don't believe that everyone is an AEW neckbeard that says they love the Young Bucks. There are people, I know someone that's on your screen right now that I know for earnest loves the Young Bucks because when he started watching wrestling in TNA, they were fucking Generation Me. So he's grew up with them. And that's fucking cool, man. If Derek or if Adam or someone else is in this room, I may bury the fuck out of them, but I'm not going to bury them to you because why would I shit on your parade? I know that you love them earnestly. And I think a lot of people get caught up in those bot conversations and arguments and think that everyone that likes them are that.
Absolutely. And like it's wild because not only is it the people, and I wish it almost makes me wish everybody was here because of how you just proposed this topic of conversation. Not only is it happening out in the world, but it's happening within our group. It happens in our chat all the time. I eat so much shit for being a fan of the Young Bucks.
Do I not always defend you in that? Because I remember when we first started, I was much more harsher because, and again, it was from a broken heart. I've been waiting for another viable big company. Now I've been watching Ring of Honor, but it's a grain in the sand that is the desert of the WWE. I wanted it. And it didn't give it to me. And maybe it will. They're going to live. They're going to be around for many years from now. And one day they may make some shit that I love. So I'm going to fucking back off of it. I remember when we first started, everyone assumed that you were a Kenny Omega fan. And we did a video and you talked about I'm Kenny Omega, whatever. Don't hate him, don't love him. And I've had to, over the years, we've had this chat group, been like, y'all quit. Like Derek doesn't love Kenny Omega that much.
I don't but it's I'm guilty by association because he's always there with the Bucks, be it Bullet Club or the Elite or whatever. So they always want to give me a hard time about Omega, and I'm like, you're wasting your time, guys. Like
you're just rope a doping on the rope. Just y'all punch yourselves out.
Yeah,
because I got nothing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And I am obviously a disciple of the God Emperor Cornette, but I don't have to agree with anybody all the time. I assure you, there's a shit ton of stuff that Jim Cornette believes that I do not agree with, but that's a whole other kind of podcast. Let's end this with what I think is the most egregious. This is dirtsheets.net, another multiple time offender. This was, I think, written by an admin because it's too on the nose. And that's something you should be also looking out for. This is just straight up. I'm going to say the most ludicrous shit I possibly can so I can get about half of this comment section arguing with bots. This is what we have. And if you go back and watch the last 2 or 3 episodes that me and Derek did together about Cody Rhodes, you will know that this is absolute bullshit. No one hates Cody Rhodes right now. I don't believe it. They might be apathetic, but I don't think anyone believes this. Just admit that Cody is mid at best. No one really wanted to see Rock versus Roman, except for older fans who don't realize how rough Dwayne would look due to his age and how long it has been since he's wrestled a 20+ minute match. He likely would have been exhausted by the 10-minute mark, leaving Roman to carry the entire thing. Well, I watched this fucking live, and he wrestled for many more minutes than 20, and he didn't gas. So we're seeing here the comparison between Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. He spent 4 years carefully building SmackDown. SmackDown's been around for how many years, Derek? Like 25?
It's 20 plus now for sure.
Yeah. He made several stars bigger. Sammy, KO, Cody. True. Made generational segments weekly. It's a little hyperbolic, but possibly. Saved WWE from going under in 2019. Derek Jones, you are this many years old. Has there ever been one day since you've lived on this earth that WWE has ever needed saved from going under?
No, the only time anybody ever even halfway thought they might be in trouble was when they did their pandemic Superdome crowd control video monitor crap that was going on. And they even put the belt on Drew McIntyre at one point. So they weren't in that bad a shape.
No, they weren't close. They were still a billion-dollar company then. Okay, so here is what the Cody Rhodes side says. He destroyed SmackDown in 4 months. Derek, how has SmackDown been destroyed for you that Cody Rhodes has come in and shit on your SmackDown?
I'm pretty sure it's still standing pretty tall, to be honest.
He has buried several stars. You got to weigh in on this because you love all these guys. He has buried AJ, Mello, and KO. When he buried AJ and KO and Mello, like, did that hurt you, Derek?
Not even a little bit. And I don't know that I honestly, so Mello could probably suffer from some things. Obviously, he's still young and doesn't have that equity yet. KO and AJ Styles, I don't know that you could bury them, just to be 100% honest. Not at this point in their career.
They could job to us and they still wouldn't be destroyed.
No.
Okay, now this one, little kernel of truth, cried weekly and on his first Raw back. He did. He cried a little too much, Derek.
He did cry, but here's the thing though. Like when he started to do this at the end of the AEW run, that's when people were like, okay, Cody's kind of our guy, as long as they don't make him heel because he don't want to be heel. Let's not do that. Talk about Dusty. Okay. That draws in a whole connection with a whole generation of people that love Dusty Rhodes. Father-son connection. Like he's becoming an everyday person when he cries about the death of his father, and he's nostalgic about wrestling, which all of us are. So he did cry, but did it hurt him?
Well, he sold $1 million in one weekend at WrestleMania.
I'm just saying.
Okay, this one, little kernel of truth. And this, honestly, was when I was getting a little fed up with AEW Cody Rhodes. Saving racism and breaking Triple H's throne in 2019. Now,
hold on.
Now they're going back to the AEW stuff. Like they were just trying to get him with the WWE, but like, oh, wait, AEW.
Barker said saving racism. He's solving racism.
Solving, sorry.
He could,
My bad.
That black world champion on WWE is not trying to save racism.
He's Cuban. You know what I mean? He did break Triple H's throne, but we know he did that because who was Cody Rhodes' favorite wrestler? Derek Jones?
It's Triple H.
Triple H, man. He just wanted to be seen.
Yeah.
And this one I am completely bewildered by. Took away the dream match millions wanted to see for years. What match is that?
Rock and Roman at WrestleMania for the belt.
Okay, so then up here it said just admit that Cody has made it best. No one really wanted to see Rock versus Roman. So in there they said that nobody wanted to see him. And then just down here in this column here, it said took away the dream match millions wanted to see for years. So when you see stuff that's that on the nose, it's not real.
Man, that's full circle contradictory at best.
Right? Like you're being worked. We are still. Is it because, do you think it's because we don't get worked enough in real wrestling that we're trying to chase that dragon somewhere else?
Absolutely. We know that the product that they put in front of us now is entertainment for entertainment value. So we are looking for a real world, real life drama explained behind the scenes in some way, shape, or form. Here it is. The internet has provided.
Ugh. Let's just watch wrestling that we like and be cool with it. And when you're with someone who thinks like you, praise it. And if you're around somebody who doesn't agree with you and they don't want to fucking argue about it, just shut your fucking mouth. Do that online too. You know what I'm saying? So we hope this fixed wrestling. You know, I think today, Derek, we fixed the wrestling community. I think from here on out, I think we will all start acting better. We will mind our P's and Q's in the comment section, right? Right.
I think what you said just now falls into one of these clickbait things. It's a bunch of bullshit.
And that's the way that we see it for Derek Jones and for the rest of the House of Kayfabe. I am the other Steve. That is the only Derek Jones that matters. And if you like that, give us a like, comment, and a share. Tell your friends about us. And dude, just be cool.